The Inheritance has ended after 4 gripping episodes, but we still have a ton of questions after watching, so surely there has to be a Series 2 of the Channel 5 drama. In Episode 4 of the tense thriller, viewers finally found out who killed poor Dennis. And, even though we had our sneaky suspicions about the culprit, it was still a brilliant moment of TV when the penny dropped and our fears were confirmed. It was the estate agent Nathan, formerly known as Dennis Gardiner, formerly known as James, the estranged son of Michael and Susan. Like many fans, we loved the twisty-turny drama, which kept us guessing until the end. However, the final episode left us with lots of unanswered questions. Not least, who the hell got the money in the end? So will there be a Series 2 of The Inheritance on Channel 5? Here's everything we know, along with all the questions a Series 2 would need to address. Who got the inheritance? It's called The Inheritance. And essentially, it was about a man's inheritance, and how far James would go to get hold of it. Perhaps if poor Dennis hadn't been so wealthy, his rather neglectful kids wouldn't have been so bothered about his mysterious death. Frankly, the 3 kids, Sean, Daniel and Chloe, seemed to be motivated by money and not love. I mean, how on earth was their dad able to hide a secret girlfriend for 14 years? Not to mention a gardener, who felt comfortable enough with Dennis that he wrote on his calendar. Viewers know that Dennis originally left the house and all his money to his 3 kids, until he married Susan and changed his will. But James was after his money too. The gardener turned estate agent was grooming Dennis, Larry Lamb, into changing his will in his favor. He killed Dennis, and eventually killed his mum Susan too, meaning that he would be next in line to get the dosh. So what happened to the inheritance at the end of the series? James, Nathan was arrested, heading to jail we assume. So who got the money? And was Daniel ever able to pay off his debts? We'll never know unless there's a Series 2 of The Inheritance. The Inheritance Series 2. Will Sian ever choose a decent bloke? Sian proved that she had worse taste in men than Liz Taylor, Jennifer Lopez, and Kim Kardashian combined. Her ex Glenn was abusive, controlling and menacing, so much so that she'd been forced to take out a restraining order against him. So did she learn her lesson? It's a firm no. Literally moments after the tragic and unexpected death of her dad, Sian, Gaynor Faye, met estate agent Nathan. He just happened to be on the doorstep of her dead dad's house, without being called, and without any proof of ID. Never mind all that, though, because he was bloody gorgeous and had a heart-melting Irish accent to boot. Oh Sian, when will you ever learn? Will anyone ever take Pete seriously? Pathetic Pete, played brilliantly by Adil Ray, was overlooked by Dennis, Daniel and sometimes his own wife Chloe, too. Always on the sidelines, he had been quietly simmering with resentful rage for years. He finally tried to exact his rather pitiful revenge on Daniel by blackmailing him of sorts. He offered to lend Daniel the money he desperately needed, in exchange for the business Daniel had spent his life working towards. Pardon us for swearing, but what a shitty thing to do. Will Chloe, Jemima Rooper, forgive him for it? Only Series 2 will tell us. Pete's character was glorious to watch. And we'd love to see him again in a possible Series 2. Not in Lycra though. The Inheritance Series 2. Why did Susan and Michael put James into care? Estate agent Nathan, this is going to hurt Rory Fleck-Byrne, turned out to be Dennis Gardiner, who turned out to be Susan and Michael's estranged son James Southall. Viewers learnt that Susan and Michael had a son, who they put into foster care. He then slowly poisoned his foster carer, and coerced him into changing his will to make him the beneficiary, exactly what he planned to do with Dennis. But why was he put into foster care? We weren't told this bit of info, which some might consider crucial to the storyline. How on earth could James have been released from prison? As the final episode of The Inheritance hurtled towards its climactic finale, viewers learnt that Nathan was James, and that James had previously murdered someone before. We heard that Susan, Samantha Bond, and Michael's son had been released from prison 2 years before. Which seems a criminally short sentence for murder. How on earth could James have been released from prison so soon? Plot hole or something to explore in another series. The Inheritance Series 2. Why did James, Nathan go back to his hometown? After being released from prison, you'd think James would keep well away from his old haunts. But, no, he headed straight to his hometown and started gardening for his dad's best friend and his mum's lover. But why? Aside from the fact it's very unlikely that he was never recognized, you wonder why he didn't move far away and target other vulnerable elderly people. And why choose a man with 3 kids, who could have popped around at any time and discovered him? Will there be a Series 2 of The Inheritance on Channel 5? Despite all these tantalizingly unanswered questions, Channel 5 has not confirmed whether or not there will be a Series 2 of The Inheritance. In fact, we think it's probably unlikely. Although the scriptwriters left a few loose threads, the killer was discovered and arrested by police. Although there may not be another series of The Inheritance coming anytime soon, we hope C5 commission some more quality dramas like it in the near future. The Inheritance is currently available to watch on My5.